The Labour Court in Johannesburg is today hearing an urgent application brought forward by the Association of Mine Workers and Construction Union Amcu against rival union, the National Union of Mine Workers NUM, at GoldOne Mine. Now, Amcu wants the Labour Court to set aside the closed shop agreement between the NUM and GoldOne East Mine entered into in 2012. So this comes despite the NUM deciding to terminate the agreement with the mine. Amcu wants the court to decide on the matter and bring forward a date for balloting process at the mine that has seen violent clashes and a partial closure. So for more, let's cross to our reporter Katlego Legodi. Katlego, good afternoon. Thanks for your time at this hour. Perhaps you could bring us the latest regarding that urgent application brought forward by Amcu. What's emerging as we speak?
A very good afternoon to you, Liesl, and to our viewers at home. Of course, we are still here at the Labour Court in Braamfontein, Johannesburg, where the court is hearing an urgent court application brought forward by Amcu. This is a union that is pushing to really get mining rights or recognition or organizing rights at GoldOne Mine there in the east of Johannesburg. This is a mine that you know very well that it has experienced a lot of tensions leading to its closures. There were also arrests. There was a car that was torched as well, belonging to a miner there in the lead up to this particular court process. But the NUM are just moving to voluntarily terminate that closed shop agreement that was a sticking point where Amcu's ambitions to organize at the mine is concerned. But really that did not stop Amcu from approaching the courts here to try and expedite the process, because as we understand it, in their termination of that closed shop agreement as the NUM, they gave the mine about 30 days, that being a notice. But also on the ground, when we were with those that were demonstrating, they were calling for this balloting process to take shape as early as yesterday, even giving the mine about 5 days to say they want to see this process get underway. But we find ourselves here today, Amcu coming to this court without the heads of arguments here, and this is where we saw Magistrate Betty Mokhalane earlier on in the court, or Acting Judge Betty Mokhalane in the court, just more or less staying this matter down to 3:30, just giving Amcu that opportunity to get their house in order where their heads of arguments are concerned. I'm going to bring into the conversation the mine, this being GoldOne Mine. They're also here, just basically cited as an applicant in this particular matter. And we are seeing as well that, apart from that, move by the NUM to terminate the closed shop agreement that you entered into with the union in 2012, Amcu is still pushing here for the courts to expedite this balloting process. Maybe just let us in. Ziad, welcome to the SABC. Give us a sense of what your understanding is of where we find ourselves and why we are here today.
Thank you. So the matter's been stayed. It's about to commence now. As you know, 2 days ago, the NUM gave us notice of termination of the closed shop agreement. Part of that was a 30-day notice period. The closed shop agreement is silent in terms of the procedure for terminating the agreement. So they've given us a 30-day notice period. Amcu are presumably not happy with the length of time of that notice period. So their application, which was brought a week ago, contemplates a 5-day period within which a ballot will be held. Now, if the NUM process is followed, within 30 days there'll be no closed shop agreement, and therefore there'll be no need for a ballot. If the Amcu process is followed, there'll be a ballot within 5 days, and potentially the closed shop agreement can terminate earlier. So we're hoping out of court that there could be some sort of a compromise reached between the three parties, but at this point there's no compromise, and so we proceed in court. We're about to proceed and hear arguments, and perhaps we'll have a bit more information later this afternoon.
Give us a sense of really the impact on your operations as we see these back and forth between the two rival unions coming through, where we saw even the closure of your operations leading into millions of losses. That's what we understand. Just give us a sense of how then you would want the court to fare where this matter is concerned, something that would also safeguard your operations as a gold mine.
No, absolutely. I think the last month has been really, really difficult for us from an operations point of view. We're just very keen to see the back of this matter and to start getting back to normal business operations. We have had all employees come back to work a few days ago. There has been relative calm. So we'd really like a speedy resolution now to this situation. Let's get the closed shop agreement sorted out. Let the employees then get to choose which union they'd like to belong to, and we'd like to move forward from this.
And also, just before I let you go, just let us in on your understanding of what the workers were complaining about where the NUM's role is concerned, and maybe why then you chose at that point in time in 2012 to enter into a closed shop agreement with this only one union when the country is really spoiled in terms of unions that exist and there to organize and represent workers. Why the closed shop agreement, and if indeed going forward, would we see something similar with the union Amcu coming into the picture? What does the law say around this particular process?
So closed shop agreements are fairly common within the mining industry, and around in 2012, when we entered into the closed shop agreement, there really was only one union campaigning for representation of the approximately 1,800 employees, and that situation remained pretty much the status quo up until around about 6 months ago. So it is commonplace within the mining industry. I think out of this process, we would be hard pressed to go down the road of a closed shop agreement in future, and I think the process going forward, once the closed shop is dissolved, either through the court process or through the notice period, is that any union would be able to campaign for membership of employees, and that's probably the way that we'll go going forward.
Ziad, thank you very much for your time. Let me release you to go back inside Court 5. This is where this matter is taking place this afternoon. Ziad Hassam coming through there as the head of legal from GoldOne Mine. They're picking up the pieces here, Liesel, following what happened in the past 2 weeks where their mine was affected by what is happening here. But to hear them saying that they are not in any way standing against Amcu in terms of organizing at the mine, they just want to ensure that the court here just gives clarity around the expedited time on balloting, and this is where then we'll see Amcu organize at that particular mine. But all of this is happening just behind us in Court 5, where Magistrate or Acting Judge Betty Mohashani will this afternoon give us a sense of where this matter goes as Amcu brought this matter forward on an urgent basis. Liesel, back to you in studio.